Okay, so here's an update from what we were doing yesterday. Um, the system, if you remember, I got in right here and I had a stop loss of about right up here, and my profit target was about right here. So obviously you can see the system did work last night. Currently it's in about a 78 pip profit. It did go all the way down to 103. The only problem that I encountered with this was, if you remember last night, I said I wasn't able to watch this trade because I was doing it at 10 o'clock at night Arizona time, and I needed to go to sleep. So although my stop loss was good, I put a trailing stop on there just so, because I've seen in the past where I had profits only to come in the next morning and see that they're all wiped away. So I put a trailing stop on there of 15 pips. Definitely not a good idea. It was late. I didn't want to do. The funny part is I wanted to do a trailing stop, but MetaTrader 4, at least on my server, is if you put a trailing stop and then you shut your computer down, the stop is no longer valid. It doesn't trail. So you have to leave your computer running. That's what I wanted to do, but I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and put a trailing stop on there, and I'm going to leave my laptop on all night just so it will protect me just in case. The funny part is, after this candle that I got in on, and about an hour later, you can see it retraced right up to here, and then, obviously went back down. So, but because my laptop is programmed to not shut off for like 2 hours, had I actually shut it off like I originally wanted to do, I wouldn't have been stopped out. So I got stopped out because you can see this went in about 15 pips right here, and with the spread being 6, it triggered once it hit down here. It retraced, took me out, and then of course, so lesson learned there. Probably just keep your original target. But as for the system, it worked. It did really well. That would have been a nice. I probably, had I been watching this again, my target, I would have gotten out at my target overnight. But had I been watching this, if this was during the day, I definitely would have just let this thing run. I definitely would have cut my trade down half. I would have sold half my position and moved my stop to break even, and then I probably would have had a trailing stop of my stop loss, which is about 30. So, and you see that really never would have gotten triggered, probably until about now. It would have went all the way down here to about 110, 111, and then I would have gotten taken out somewhere about here-ish, somewhere like right here. So would have been an overall 80 some pip profit, not too bad. But again, I just wanted to do the system. The other trade that I put this morning, I was trying another system on the 5-minute chart of the euro dollar. The news came out this morning. Very surprising, actually. The unemployment figures came out. Everything for the dollar was bullish. So I was figuring, I think the news came out right about, what was that? I want to say it's about midnight. It should be midnight in their time. I guess we're actually back over here now somewhere. The news came out, it was 5:30, so it should have been right here. This is when the news came out. I got in, I think I got in about right here somewhere. And, as soon as it came out, I was watching it. The unemployment numbers came out really good. So I was like, wow, this is going to be a good one. It's usually bullish, it's usually bullish for the dollar, bearish for the euro. So I got in, and to my surprise, it just, it didn't do much. And then I was like, okay, let it do its thing. And then all of a sudden, it just, boom, went all the way up here. Now, the crappy part is I actually had a 30, or like a 20 some pip stop loss up here somewhere, I think it was. And I just went ahead and exited it because I was like, okay, this is obviously not going in my direction. I cut my losses, and of course, the old saying, as soon as you cut your losses, your trade starts to come back in your favor, and it did. It went all the way down, and I don't think I actually would have been in profit. I could have broke even, But I probably wouldn't have. I would have waited because I would have seen this close and this close. I would have been like, oh, okay, so it's finally coming. So I would have left it. And then, so who knows what would have happened. I could say I would have done this and I would have done that, but, more than likely I would have seen this come and I would have probably let it go. That's not using the strategy at all. I mean, on a 5-minute chart, it's really, it's really hard. So, I just was trying to play the news, and it obviously didn't work. I still don't understand how that didn't fall down. But markets don't have to do what you want them to do. So we're going to stick to our 1-hour system that we're looking at here. Currently, I don't think there's any setups right now. I was watching the euro dollar after I got stopped out. I saw this candle right here. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe we're going for an uptrend, but you can see very choppy. It's not doing its thing. So that's not a good one. And I've been just doing some scans on some other markets to see what it looks like. You can see that it looks like the franc works pretty well in this strategy too. Basically right around the same time we got in yesterday. I could have got in on this one too, but this one didn't really go as much. I think it's only in how much? Still 15 pip profit, so that's pretty good. But there's not really any good setups right now. The other thing too that I'm trying to figure out is on pullbacks. If you can jump in on a pullback, you can see from here. I would have entered the position here had I been watching, and currently, see, obviously there was a pullback right here, but it didn't close, and then boom, we went up to 27. We're currently in the 15 range. So something I need to do some research on is to look at these pullbacks and see if they, how to play these to get back in. If I do it based off the system, if I see a pullback and then another 2-candle close, currently I'd be in the red right now because I would have gotten in right here. So I'd be about 10 pips, 11 pips in the loss. So I need to check on these pullbacks and see, if it's valid to get in. You can see right here, obviously there was a pullback, 2 pullbacks, and then boom, it went back down. But see, the problem is you might have to get in right after that, but I'll do another video on that just while I do some research. So just scanning the market here, here. The system had a lot of great trades yesterday, but not so much right now. They're already underway, and I don't want to chase anything. So this one doesn't really. Some of these don't look like the system would work well in this time frames. You can see 1, 2. I would have gotten in, loss. Well, maybe not a loss, but the bar is pretty right here. No, it wouldn't have been a loss. And then, but the CAD, it takes a lot to get pips from this. It's a very high, you need a lot of good candles on that, so I don't know, we'll see. But see, you can see right here, it would have definitely not worked out, I don't think. So we got to close 1, 2, you get in here, it would have went up to here. ATR is at 16, so we would have been taken out right there at a profit. But had we not, boom, we would have been, that definitely would have broken our stop loss. So I think a good rule of thumb stop loss, I might change it to 2 ATRs, which in this case would have been 32, and I would have been stopped out here. But for the most part, I think 2 ATRs is a pretty good number there. So scanning the rest of the market, system seems to work good on this one too. So I'll definitely be eyeing this one up. I love this pair just because of the pip. There's a lot of pips. When this thing moves, it really moves, and it's very good pips. See, for example, right here, this is what, 30. Oh, okay, maybe it looks better on a daily chart, but I really do like the New Zealand pair. That has some good pips, really good. So, I mean, look at this. From, this swing high to the swing low. You know, it's 169 pips. No, you know, you'll probably never capture all of them, but that's a that's a lot of pips. So I like the pairs that give a lot of pips when they move. So that's it for now. I will record another video when I see a setup, and then we'll go from there.